All right, shalom, shalom, boys here. Well, it's 7 days and I am out of YouTube jail. They put a strike on my channel because I was talking about things that in this country you're not allowed to talk about. So much for the Second Amendment. But we've gone from things that you can put in your body to war. And it's just an unfortunate thing. But what I wanted to do is just give a couple of updates on what I'm working on the land. Now, when it comes to cleaning up in the springtime and stuff, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be organized and cleaned on any piece of property. And sometimes, it's more efficient to burn rather than to clean up. Now, this is where I had some trees that felled, and I cut up all of the trees and put them on my racks when it comes to the wood. And, we're looking pretty good for a couple of years to come into the future when it comes to wood. But, certain areas, in terms of cleaning up, I have to go ahead and burn. So I'm going to talk about how to go about safely burning debris on your land, okay? So first things first, you want to make sure that before I started burning, I put everything into piles. As you see here, I got 1, 2, 3 piles. And what I did was I just basically sprayed down the area around the pile with water, okay? So what's going to happen is that it's going to prevent the ability for your fire to spread, okay? And I'm going to give you a perfect example of this, okay? Now let's go back here. You want to make sure that you have a water source available. So you want to make sure that you have some hoses or water source available, because if things get out of control, then you have the ability to prevent a fire. So let's go over here and I'm going to show you how I was cleaning out the greenhouse and I was burning some debris and the brush got out of hand, or the fire got out of hand, and it spread to a large area, and I was able to prevent it. But this is why you should also make sure that you have a plan to put out fires. You see this entire area? This is a direct result of one small pile. This has to be at least 3,000 plus square feet of dry grass that was just burnt. And it kept on, as you see, it kept on traveling and kept on traveling. If it got into there, if it got down there, it could have caused a very big fire. And as you see, this is where I started it. So in the greenhouse, I was cleaning out everything in the greenhouse. I'll do a video on that. And I put all of the debris right here, as you see, but then the fire started moving. And you see what would have happened if it got to the greenhouse? See, this is dry grass right here. Highly flammable, okay? So sometimes people do a burn in their pasture to clean out any weeds, anything like that. But it can be very dangerous, okay? You see that? If it got over here, it could have burned there. It could have got all over there. It could have burned down over there. There's a lot of brush over there, and this is very dry. You see that? Now, how I was able to put it out was basically take the hoses that I have, and, that's why it's good to have a couple of hoses, daisy chain, because, again, out here, we don't have... we have fire services. We have a fire department. But by the time they suit up and get out to you, man, this can be way out of control. You see? This can't be no more than 10 feet from here to here. This stuff is very serious. And as you see what I was doing in the greenhouse, as I was cleaning out the greenhouse. And I'm going to till in here, my new tiller. And then lay down black plastic. And I'm not even going to plant in here. I'll probably do a fall garden. This is a 30 by 96 greenhouse right here. So I, probably may do some other stuff in here. But I don't need the space. But all of that debris had to be burned. So, be very careful when it comes to starting fires, making sure that the perimeter that you are burning your fire in is nice and wet, because you see, all of this is dry. That's huge right there. Look at that area. And how long do you think it took for this brush to begin to burn all of this area? Now, this probably is definitely good and healthy for the grass, because new grass will grow and stuff. But this is the kind of stuff that we're talking about. These things can get out of hand very quickly, and if you don't have a plan of action in place, if you don't have the tools, what I would suggest is, a well, and then you have several different access points with your well when it comes to hydrants. I have a hydrant in the back, and I want to move that I want to dig a line and put another hydrant right over there after I move the cabin and reposition it. But you see, if it had gotten over there, it could have been a huge problem. You see? So make sure that when you're doing these burns, do it in a controlled fashion where, you're laying down water or dampening the ground where your fire is burning, so that it won't leap across the wet part of the grass. Make sure that you have your hose available. Make sure you have a fire extinguisher available. Anything that's going to quell or put out a fire quickly. Because I'm telling you, man, you see, if it would have kept on going, it could have went around and got those two big wood piles on fire. I cannot stress this enough. Make sure that you are doing things in a safe and responsible manner, and that if something does pop off, you have the ability to address the issue as quickly as possible. And as well, last but not least, if you're burning something, don't go in the house and do something else. Make sure that you are monitoring that fire to ensure that, unless it's in a fire pit or something like that, make sure that you are monitoring that fire so it does not get out of control. Because let me tell you, man, if I just lit that thing and then walked away, all of this would have been on fire, would have burned down the greenhouse and everything. And I've been talking about fire because it's critical, because again, there is no insurance when your land is paid for, and especially when you're doing things off grid. They will not insure off grid property unless it meets builder specifications, and unless it meets insurance specifications. They're just not going to do it. And in addition to that, they hit you on the property taxes once you get insurance as well. But this is what's going on. I'm going to continue to clean up. I have a couple of projects that I want to complete before the grass start growing, but I think I'm probably 99% there in terms of my projects. But I'll get into those individual ones on another video. All right, have a blessed day and be safe. Shalom.